Good evening. Welcome to the Town of Auburn Planning Board meeting of Tuesday, January 28, 2020. Now called to order at 7 p.m. This meeting is being recorded and broadcasted live by local access programming. Is there anyone here in the audience tonight that is recording this meeting? There being none, please rise and join us with the salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I would like to remind the audience and applicants, town administration, and each of the planning board members to please refrain from asking questions in regards to all matters discussed this evening without first being granted my consent. The first item on our agenda tonight is applicant CGT Incorporated requesting a special permit site plan approval under 3.9.2.2 of the Auburn zoning bylaw for a drive-through coffee shop located at 711 Southbridge Street, Auburn, Mass. Map 61, parcel 37. This has been continued from January 14th.
All right. Good evening. For the record, my name is Philippe Prevo, our Levesque Associates. Here tonight with Mr. Kevin Simon of CGT Inc., the applicant for the special permit and the site plan application. As Chair just said, we are here on a continuation from a previous December meeting, and based from that meeting, or since that meeting, we have received a number of comments from various town departments, including the peer reviewer. We have taken all those comments into consideration and revised the site plan to address them, and we feel that we've adequately addressed all those concerns. I have listed out all of the comments in a response letter, but before we get to that response letter, I just kind of want to run through the site layout and kind of identify the differences from the previous design to the new layout. So that's this here, if everyone can see on the board. This is so the site is located at the 711 Southbridge Street off Route 12, where the TJ Maxx and the Park and Shop are located. So we're going to be utilizing the easternmost curb cut that will remain essentially as it is today. We're not going to modify that existing curb cut. In the previous design, when you came in from Southbridge Street, you would essentially enter the queue immediately to your left, wrap around the building, and exit the drive-through lane out near the entrance. Now, that was a big point of concern with the various town departments, is where the queue, queue stacking, the potential for queue stacking out into the entrance drive, and also the exit lane of the drive-through being so close to where you kind of leave the site. So what we've done is we essentially flipped the building 180 degrees. So now you're going to enter the site through that existing curb cut, come down into the site, modify the existing parking lot so that the queue is now essentially at the property corner with the adjacent friendlies. So now when you come in, just to kind of kind of drive you through the site, you come in the site, kind of enter, go down the drive aisle, just as if you were going to any other shop on the site. If you're going to TJ Maxx or any other location on the property, you come in on the site. You're gonna take a left, and then you're gonna take another left to get into the drive-through lane, where you're gonna have the menu board. You're gonna order. You come around the building. Pickup window is here, and then it's gonna push you back down into the site, and you're gonna actually exit substantially farther away from that entrance, the curb cut, than what was previously proposed. So you're actually going to come down from the drive-through, come to a stop at the intersection with the drive aisle, and then be able to maneuver from there, whether you're going to go to another shop on site or you're going to, exit the site on Southbridge Street. So essentially, that's a pretty substantial change to the site from the previous design, which I think addresses most of the concerns that were brought up at both the planning meeting and the DCG meeting, and, you know, the comments through the different town departments. That being said, we can, if you want, we can go through the response letter. One other thing that I guess I wanted to point out was that we did a parking analysis for the whole site. We went through each individual unit, and we worked with the landlord and the owner to, you know, get access to the interior dimensions of those spaces to calculate the required parking. I did see some, yeah, I saw it. It looks like you guys have a copy of it. Obviously, well, the impacts that are being proposed by these site improvements, I guess there was like 13 spots up here near this AMF jewelry store. So obviously we're eliminating those 13 spots, replacing 7 for employees, and we still came up a few spots short. So what we had to do was we're going to restripe the essentially this portion of the site. So from the entrance drive over to the right is it's going to be restriped to gain additional parking spots. So that's how we're addressing that. So that being said, we can run through the comments. Is that I can answer any questions if you guys have questions as I'm talking. Yeah. Does everybody have a copy?
Want to ask one question? Go ahead.
So you're taking out, as you come down in that big mouth,
Yep.
and you get down in this corner where you start, going to take your left,
Yeah.
you're taking out about some of the existing parking spots because they come out into that
Right.
mouth. You're going to eliminate those. So
Yep.
the plaza will have a few less there.
Correct.
And then you're going to take something, where are the employee ones you said for the 7?
So the employees are, so they're going to be parking here. There's 4 spaces directly adjacent to the building here along this concrete walk.
Yeah.
And then also, there's 3 spots out near this island here. If you remember, in the previous design, all the parking spots were up against the building, and there was concern that the queue was in front of those parking spaces, so if an employee was trying to get out, they would kind of be backing up into the queue lane. So this eliminated that case as well.
So when you come down,
Yeah.
and then you're going to take your left to go into where your aisle is for the queue that comes up
Yep,
perpendicular to Southbridge.
yep.
How many cars will you be able to get there? Do you think?
So
How much is that?
from the pickup window all the way around to the end there, there's 13 spaces up until there.
So right where you come down and take your left to start to go up that aisle,
Yes, right.
up to the
this
window.
point right here.
Right, yeah, right there.
Yep.
Up to the window where you order.
So there's 13 spaces
13
here.
spaces. Oh,
But at-
13 up to the window where you order, not
Pickup.
up to
Yeah.
where you pick up.
Yeah, because usually they count those spaces because everyone's still waiting and that was in there. And then, obviously, any potential overflow queue would back up into the aisles within the site. So the big idea is that, rather than queuing out and having nowhere to go other than stay in Southbridge Street, if, hopefully, on a
They
busy
hold them
day, they're going to queue.
Hold
And
in the
if
parking lot.
they would go overflow into the parking lot itself and not out, into any right of way. So I think that was a big, item that we were trying to address with the revised layout. And also, it was, I believe Ms. Presley at the last meeting, had, what's directing, if you're coming in this site, it's sort of like a sea of pavement there right now. When you come in that curb cut, there's no definitive, go this way. People are kind of shooting all over the place, I guess.
So your curbs are going to...
We're building an island here to define this drive aisle here, so you can't just kind of plow through the parking lot there. And that's going to be a landscaped island, like a raised landscaped island there. The peer reviewer, we did get comments back from the peer review, nothing substantial that had any impacts to the site. improvements. They were okay with the way we were handling the stormwater. And then it was the other various town departments there.
So that was based off this plan? Sorry.
No, the peer review was based off the previous
plan.
plan.
I did send this back out for a secondary review just to make sure all the changes all added up, and I'm waiting on, hopefully I'll get that back anytime from Graves. He's had it for over a week, I think.
Yeah.
He dropped it off a week and a half ago or so, so
Yeah,
he's had it about a week.
For the new one.
The new one.
Right, for the
revised.
Right, to see if everything's been addressed here and then look at the new layout. So we haven't seen those comments yet.
John, can I ask?
Sure.
So what dictates where you order from as opposed to pick up? So you've got 14 and there's 9 cars to the order window. Is that what Duncan recommends?
Yeah, so it's a franchise thing. So there's 5 cars from the pickup window to the order menu board.
Okay.
And then it's essentially as many cars as you can stack behind that.
Okay.
We do a number of site layouts for various franchisees for Dunkin', and it's all about queue length and things.
Oh,
like
yeah.
So knowing that there's still peer review out there, I would say from your loading zone, you have to cross that travel lane for the parking. So there's no defined walking path to get from the loading zone into the building. I don't know if
Yeah, so essentially the intent was there's going to be this is all sidewalk with a
Yep.
ramp at the end to get access to back there. So
but there's nothing defining crossing that way, so like a
Oh,
crosswalk.
like a crosswalk or
Yeah,
something? over there?
so, yeah, I could see you got the hatch for the loading zone, but
Yeah.
nothing crossing that.
It had a crosswalk.
Well, if someone is blocking that when they're trying to get through,
Sure.
then there's zigzagging around.
Yeah,
Causes different hazards.
for sure. Okay. Yeah, crosswalk.
Go ahead.
Being that you're not gonna have any walk-in traffic anymore, right?
Yes, sir.
So there'll be all those people that go there every morning that walk in, there'll be 90% of them will probably still be going. So do you think you got adequate with the way this is designed to go down? And, the 13, you know how it is in the morning. I'm there every morning, so it's, but as you said, some could queue here.
Yep. So the idea, I mean, we're working with, the site that we have, and the idea is to, this is a much better situation where everything is kept on the private property. So the queue, there's queue directly within this particular Dunkin' site up to here, but, any extra, would then, stack down out here.
There's a time in the morning, excuse me, TJ Maxx isn't open, which would be the
Right.
storefront right in front of it. So, that queue line.
Nothing's open.
Yeah,
Go
nothing's
back
open.
ways, it
over
Oh,
there.
wouldn't matter too much.
Right. Yeah, and we've also submitted everything to Mass DOT. They have everything, they've had it for a couple of weeks now, but we're in the process with the DOT, so we don't have that yet.
Steve?
Has the fire department had a chance to review the revised plan?
I've sent them a revised plan. I haven't had any comments back from them as of yet. I can follow up again with them just to make
Police
sure.
chief get it?
Sorry?
Did Andy get it?
Yeah, he did. He didn't have any comments either.
Nick, any questions?
Not at this time, no.
Scott?
We really talked about, I know there was some talk last time about water, was it stormwater off onto the neighboring property behind? Or was it just runoff,
Yeah, but it runs
Yeah.
there now.
yeah?
Yeah, so it's kind of a
And
pretty
that's already
unique
existing,
situation.
you're not changing
Yeah.
anything? that's-
No, they've actually improved it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and this is actually more green space than the previous layout. So you're actually
Oh, yeah.
reducing the impervious even more with this layout than the previous one. So you're getting a lot more, landscaping in this layout than even the last one.
Okay.
It's really going to redefine that corner. That's just a big sea of pavement there it'll really, make it look sharp.
And it doesn't seem like GEI had too much, huh?
Not on the original.
Not on the original, yeah.
We have to wait and see the final.
Yeah.
And the final and the stormwater, yeah.
Because they pretty much addressed everything that we talked about
Yep.
at the last meeting, and then some, to be
Right.
honest with you.
Yeah, and through the chair, I know we think, myself, building commissioner and town engineer would like to see the restriping of the parking lot just to make sure, because that would be considered modification if it's done separately. To get those extra spaces, if you could submit something that shows those, that you lay out, that'd be
Okay.
great.
More than what's shown on these
Yeah,
plans?
if you're adding spots farther down with the restriping, with adding those extra
Yeah.
spots, we'd like to see that.
Okay. All right.
It's just a layout.
I'll talk, okay. Because they are shown on these plans.
Okay.
They are-
Looks like you're putting the restriping all the way down where the snow storage is right now.
It's restriping down.
All right, if it's already there, that's already there. Then-
The whole quadrant down there looks like you're restriping.
Yeah. It's just, essentially, it's to get the parking space. It's already pavement, we're not changing the edge of pavement. It's just modifying the way the striping of the parking.
So, yep.
Ron?
No, I'm good for now.
I just got a couple questions. I noticed on one of the plans, it says you're removing the chain link fence,
And replacing it.
but it didn't say that, it just said
It's
remove.
just removing.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
You gonna replace it?
Yeah, we definitely want to put the fence back.
Probably nicer.
Is that right on the property line?
It's essentially, yeah, it might deviate just a little, but that fence is essentially the property line.
Now, when you said you would send everything to Mass DOT, that was for your curb cut and all that?
So that's a general access permit. We sent it to them initially to say, do we need to, issue, do you have to go to you for a permit? And they said yes, so we sent them everything, filed, paid them, gave them all the plans. We just spent a couple weeks, and we're in the process. I've had preliminary conversations. It's mostly for the utility connections, because we have to go into the right-of-way, because that's where all the, the sewer and electric, everything's in there, so it's gonna be mostly utility. Because the only real modification is just this little stick of curb to kind of straighten out that edge of the
Yeah,
pavement.
you have to get a state permit to tie into the water and sewer.
Yeah.
On top of the town's permit.
Exactly, yeah.
And then, I think the only other thing I had was, you're probably gonna need a permit from the state for your sign. I don't know, brought up, you're in the state right away there, I believe, where the sign showed. You may need to have a permit from them, but I don't know if the town would have anything to do with that either.
You usually get a sign permit from the building commissioner.
Yeah,
Beyond that, I
the
don't
sign
know.
is off of the right-of-way, so it's gonna be a little farther into the property, but it's not within the right-of-way, if that's what
Well, it's not in the paved right away, but the state road right of way goes wider than the paved area
Yeah.
by quite a bit. I'm not sure where the
I'll
limits
I'll
are,
verify with the building commissioner.
but even if it's out of the right of way, you're still gonna need a sign permit from the
Yeah,
building.
yeah.
And then, let me see what else I have. On your water service, I don't know what the water department's gonna say. Usually with a curb stop that big, they put like a 2x2 concrete block underneath the curb stop.
Okay.
So if a car drives over it, God forbid, doesn't drive it down through the copper. And these are just minor details.
Sure.
And then you have your distance between your sanitary sewer and your storm drain of 6-inch minimum. I don't know if that's 6 inch or 18 inches, where it's a storm drain. Well, it says water line here, and it shows the sewer above it. Usually the sewer has to be below the water line, not the other way around.
Yeah, or you can encase
Right.
the sewer. So you're looking
Concrete
at
encasement, yeah.
D2, the utility crossing detail?
Right, which it'll
Yeah, so
have to be
that's,
approved by the sewer department.
okay, for sure, absolutely. That was just to get across here.
Yep. And, I'm looking at your detail for your service. It says typical sewer connection detail. It shows the Y and the main, and it goes over, and it says PVC plug. Is that the existing plug you're just gonna pull and tie into? I mean, that's what it seems to me to be.
Sewer connection detail.
Yeah, it's right next to the,
Oh, no, that would be, that's probably a detail from, like a subdivision where you install
You
the
would end
stub. You stub it at the property
you
line.
would end it.
Then you would end it, yeah. But it's the same idea, for the connection within, because you're gonna have the grease interceptor there,
Right.
coming out of the building plumbing, but then the sanitary has to be separate from that. Like the toilet
Right.
water's gotta be separate from that. So that connection there is gonna be that Y connection.
Okay, that's all I have. So, any public comment?
No.
So unfortunately, we can't take a vote on this tonight until we see the second peer review.
Yeah.
So, would you like to continue to the next meeting?
Yes.
Which is,
February 11th.
I mean,
February 11th.
yeah,
I mean, I don't have much of a choice tonight. Unless you want to do something contingent.
I can't do that with peer review. Can I have a motion?
So move to continue to February 11th.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Need to vote.
Thank you, guys.
You guys, I know you guys did a stellar job compared to the first one.
Yeah.
Way better.
Thank you.
I drove him nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got it back. I didn't even bring copies.
Everybody did it right.
Second up tonight is the applicant Impact Fitness, Andrew Lawton, requesting a modification of the existing site plan under section 9.4.1 of the zoning bylaws for expansion of the parking area of property located at 314 Washington Street, Auburn, Mass. Map 42, parcel 9.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mike Sullivan from Cornerstone Engineering. Andy Lawton is also here, in the Bob Bugle seat back there. We're here tonight to amend the parking plan. If you're familiar with the property, you know that they're in dire need of additional parking. We're proposing 16 spaces in front of the building, where there isn't any now. Right in this area here, we're proposing 16 diagonal spaces. In order to accommodate those spaces, there'll be a retaining wall on the building side of the property, a walkway, and that walkway will have a handrail along the entirety of that. With the parking spaces, this would be one-way travel. So you'd be coming in here, finding your space, and then moving on in this direction. The original plan, if you remember, had an in and out, a double barrel. Right here.
Okay.
And there was no parking there, so there was no conflict. With the new design, there would be a conflict. So what the design shows is the entrance. You would come in here, there'd be a stop line here, and then this would be two-way traffic. So when you're leaving, you'd stop here, make sure it's clear, and then continue. There'll be an exit here, and that's right turn only. So you'll be coming in, and this would be the movement here. We received a letter from both the peer review as well as the town engineer. The front of this also, there'll be a 4-foot privacy fence here, and there'll be low shrubs between the fence and the right-of-way. If in fact we do need to go out into the right-of-way, we have got approval of DOT in the past, we have to file a plan with them, a modification. We've talked with them, they don't have a problem with this, but we do have to file with them for a modification. The town engineer had a few comments. There was a utility pole out here that is being moved to this location, and then the electric will be underground to the building at this location. It says the driveway configuration will require Mass DOT approval. No problem there, and we have had preliminary conversation, so we're comfortable with the response on this. There's limited space between Washington Street and the right-of-way, but there is space available for plantings, which we are proposing to have low shrub plantings in the front of the fence. One-way traffic entering the site on Washington Street is directed onto two-way travel aisle. Pavement markings and/or signage shall be provided to alert motorists of this condition. So we have the pavement markings here, and there will also be a double-sided sign indicating two-way traffic there. Curb stops, I don't know whether you can see it, but there's curb stops along the parking area, and deferred peer review on the drainage design. Peer review had sent a letter dated yesterday, the 28th. There were 6 items, and essentially indicating that they were satisfied with what we had proposed. So essentially a clean bill of health as far as that goes. And that's basically what we're proposing. Oh, permits. The Zoning Board of Appeals has approved, we needed variances on the parking. The ZBA has approved that. As I had indicated, DOT is going to have to be contacted. And finally, for this exit here, the 100-foot buffer is right here. We're outside their no disturb zone, but we are within their jurisdiction, so we'll be filing with the conservation as well. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'll turn it back to the board. Any questions?
Any questions, Steve?
Was there consideration making that back drive lane a one-way and have flow through the site?
This back driveway?
Yes.
No, that it was kind of critical to have the ability to get out to here. Otherwise, you're going down, if you're heading the opposite direction.
So I was thinking the other direction, because you have one way in front, if you kept that flow going around.
You mean here
Nope,
or back here?
back there, yep. So you already have direction of flow from your new proposed parking area. And
Yes.
if you kept that consistent on the site, and I see that back parking lot area, the higher elevation one, parking lot, doesn't have arrows dictating one-way, two-way there. And I think if you did, it would be confusing.
What is the use of that, Andy, that back part? In terms of making that a one-way?
So if you make it a one-way, you actually will queue up way more traffic on, if I'm understanding correctly. So you're talking about making,
Right here.
yeah, so if you make this one-way, it disturbs the whole flow of it. So if people come in, this is only a right turn out. So now, if it's only one way in, people park up here. If they want to come out and go this way, you're forcing all the traffic further into Millbay Street, which is already one light is one car. So what we're seeing now is you get backed up 4 or 5 cars. If you're trying to force all the traffic from upper lot out only one entrance and exit, you just jam up Millbury Street in that intersection. So right now it works pretty good with a two-way. It's wide enough. Obviously when you do the indications, this all remains the same. Perfect for members because that's what they know. With the new parking, then you mark it, one way in, one way out, with hard curb, curb cuts coming out to force it into this direction here, so they can't possibly try to loop out. If that answers your question.
Yeah, I mean, if it was, I mean, I know you guys meet the minimum, 20 is the minimum.
Right.
It just seems tight. And it seems if you're gonna have flow one way, and then I think the back parking area, people will get confused. And I'm not sure that queuing makes a difference if people, so
Yeah.
if they're backed up,
What I see is, if you make that back road, back driveway, one way out, so when you can only come in off of Route 20, and you gotta drive all the way around the building to get to those parking spaces. That's really gonna screw people up.
no, so, when I'm, and this is in my head, tell me I'm wrong. So you come back this way, if you wanted to go out, you can. If you wanted to come in here, everyone flows this way to get back out to this parking lot, that they want to exit that way.
But you just made that back road one way out.
No, so I'm saying if it's one way, you can come here and park. If you want
Right.
to come in, you come this way and flow. So if you have cars here trying to get out, yes, you would back up here if they block that entry. But I'm just trying to see, because it is narrow.
Yeah, and I
I'm
would
not-
say the space here is actually, if you did it that way too, and just for thinking, it's a tighter spot at prime time, or actually prime time every hour for us. We've got to past the building, but it's a tighter squeeze to get through these compact sizes
Okay.
than you would have with the double in the back. Like it's actually a more breathing room here than trying to force more traffic through a compact lot. For that, if that.
Yeah, I'm not proposing to be an expert, I just wanted to know if it was considered.
Yeah, I was just curious how all the traffic flowed in here and how critical it would be.
Well, I get his point now. He's gonna make that back road right there where the jug handle is, or the nose right there, where the parking lot meets the back drive. From there back would be one way out. The rest of the entrance would be two-way in, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
That way you don't have to drive all around the building.
People hate that.
It's, so on your exit, no, down the bottom,
Yep.
is there going to be, on your entrance side, signs facing the parking lot saying, "Do not enter, entrance only"?
Yeah, so clearly now, because this is actually wider now, it's a in and out, that even, you think people would realize that when you shrink it and hard curve it, that they'll get it. Believe me, they don't. So there's gonna be a ton of signage, you know, and also, members also the plans would send all the members to inform of the new changes. So what we did was took that exit, that would normally be here, and just, which works out great, because you have a double lane 20 coming here.
Right.
That double lane ends at the entrance, which works out perfect. So instead of people trying to merge, because that double lane merges the one at the same time our exit's leaving, so it actually makes a little bit of a safety. It's better to have it further down to a single lane, so you're not merging 3 lanes into one.
Yep.
So at this point, it's a single lane coming down, it's merging to 1 lane instead of trying to cram into 1 lane already merging.
The other thing I'm curious about is when you exit on the left-hand side and you look back to your left, where's the shrubbery going? Yeah, that's gonna block your sight.
So actually,
From here?
Yep.
So I think if you pull up the street, the view you had up here before, we had the conversation before, it looks that way, we actually get on the site, there's plenty of, yeah, so here, if you look at it,
Yeah, maybe.
so here, this will be where the exit is. You'll be able to see all down 20 right to the light. So even now, like people, I don't know why, people still try to button hook out of here, and we've caught them doing it left. At this point, you have full view of intersection in all 20. So like these trees here these big trees are remaining, but those don't affect any of the vision of 20.
Not now. They will in time. Because when the first people came in, I advised them to have the state ask them to cut them down, because they're gonna be a nightmare.
We asked in the beginning too, and we were told no.
Really?
Yeah, well, you have to have,
Right.
so actually we had to plant more trees. So you can see we added like 16 trees. Because we were like, this is gonna be giant. Like, we'll cut them and put smaller ones in. They're like, no. I said, okay, we trimmed them. So we limbed the lower half, so pretty much the trees are 12 feet high is when the limbs start coming in. So it cleans up the bottom vision of it. But yeah, so if you're coming out here, you have straight view actually all the way to the top of the crest of the hill.
And when you place the signs, because you talked about a lot of signs, try to set them so that they're not blocking the sight
Correct.
distance up too. Because the guy might know, each one pulls out a different distance to the
Right.
road to look up. Some people have got their nose in the road already, some are back 2 feet, and some are...
A lot of times, like the placement of the sign where we're gonna put it, a lot of people usually stop at signs, so, society kind of, the signs here, that's where you want to stop at. So I'm sure they'll be placed at a fairly reasonable spot for it.
So those shrubs will be about 12 feet back from the pavement, and we've got about 200 feet from where the shrubs start.
And then down below at your exit, it looks like a walkway, but is that gonna be a planting zone too? Yeah, right there with your fingers all over the
I think
right.
that's just a,
Is it just grass?
it's a parking spot now, it's not big enough for our car, so we're just gonna hex it off as a,
Right.
so what that helps delineate that drive
For snow
out.
storage?
Yeah, so instead of trying to cram a car in there, just, we ended up losing a spot there, we gained it on this side over here.
Okay. And the purpose of the 4-foot fence across the front?
Well, it's going to be a privacy fence. You don't want the lights shining out into the road if you can avoid that.
Yeah.
So it would protect that.
The ZBA requirement, which we were more than happy to oblige with.
Okay, on the parking amendment, grading and drainage, I just had one question. It's on another page, it's on page 2 or 4. I was just curious, there was a double catch basin down on the corner on the left-hand side, which looks like maybe, I don't have a scale, but maybe 60 feet from the small car parking, up in the upper left-hand corner.
Oh, yeah,
Left-hand corner.
yeah.
Keep going up, keep going up. Okay.
Oh, yes.
What if that was a double catch basin?
This one here?
Yes.
Yes,
Yep.
it is. So this would, in terms of total, this would go from 74 spaces to 90 spaces.
Pardon me, could you say that again, please?
Yes, it currently has 74 spaces, and that will be pushed up to 90 if the board feels this is an appropriate plan.
What's the percentage of small cars allowed?
30%.
30%.
We have 27 small cars.
Thank you.
Just under. Just under.
Funny how that works.
Unfortunately, we haven't seen the second go-around of the peer review. So we can't actually take a vote tonight on whether to give this a go-ahead. I can't do that. I mean, that's what we tell everybody. We just got it back today. So we don't even have a copy to look.
Yeah, we just got
Yeah.
it today, so these plans reflect, I just wanted to leave these with you.
Sure.
I'll get you as many copies as you need.
Okay.
But just so you have, that represents the revisions from the town engineer and your peer review.
Okay. You
But,
can send a
I
PDF
understand.
also, yeah.
Okay.
We still need them to go through conservation to see if it's
Correct.
feasible. Okay. Just
When are you meeting with Concom?
Would you make it condition on conservation approval, or would you wait for it to close?
We usually wait for conservation to give you approval before we...
Well, I think we're already in it already. So we have the approval for all this. So this is what they're really debating on. So the parking, this is already pre-existing here. I can't imagine if we already had parking further past that point. I mean, I don't know.
I can't imagine it either, but you never know.
Yeah, we're gonna contact them and see if they'll let us do an RDA versus a complete notice of intent. Because of the work is, like Andy just indicated, pretty much there as it is, with the exception of going out onto the road. But
I understand.
I hear you too.
So Would you like to continue to the February 11th meeting? You have that option. I think everything, you should have that all buttoned up by then, I would think. We would have the peer review back.
Yeah.
The view should have the conservation, knew that from the ZBA.
No, yeah, we'll have to file with Concom to get before them.
I don't know when the next meeting is, do you?
It's the third. It's the third.
Well, could we
week of the month.
schedule with you for the next meeting, and if it isn't buttoned up, we'll just ask for continuance?
Yeah, we can do that. Sure. Can I have a motion to make for continuance?
Make the motion. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It is a vote.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've been doing this for 40 years, first time Pledge of Allegiance. Well done.
Standard.
Andy, you want to sign this?
We're good with time and everything.
It's just...
We don't have any time constraints.
Thank you.
Oh, no. Oh, I see what you're saying now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
You too.
Working.
Applicant SZLL Realty LLC, a definitive subdivision plan for a 13-lot, single-family home development on property located at 178 Hampton Street and 19 Eaton Ave. Map 12, parcel 120, has requested a continuance.
Yeah, they've already requested a continuance. We're still waiting on the stormwater report, so Graves can do with the third peer review.
Did they give us an idea how far down the road they want to continue it? Probably not.
No, they did not, so we can just do the next one. February 11th.
A motion to continue it to the
I'll make
February 11th
that
meeting?
motion.
Have a second?
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Next up is applicant Masad Family LLC requesting modification of site plan approval under section 9.4.1 of the Auburn zoning bylaws. The parking, landscaping, and site layout reconfiguration of property located at 54 Faith Ave. They have also requested a continuance.
They are due back at conservation February,
11th?
whatever. No, not the 11th, after the next
We're
meeting.
11th.
So they asked to be continued until February 25th. Hopefully they'll be done at conservation then. We'll take action then at that time.
I move to continue to February 25th.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Now we have the decisions to do, correct? Whoever did this.
3 decisions from last time, the Eversource, the site plan for Starbucks, and the special permit for Starbucks.
You got a membership?
Where?
Think that-
Do I look like it?
No.
Alright. I gotta stop using that excuse, there's no parking now. That might be a reason.
Just get a bigger car.
I already have a pretty big car. I'm like a check engine light on, so I need a new car.
There's only small parking lot.
There's only a limited small parking lot. So I was really looking forward to the stack.
I was just gonna say that. I wanted to be the first one in Central Mass with a car stack.
I thought we could check off that box, but
Business is good.
yeah. Easy to say in January though, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
no.
this one was which one?
Whenever I drive by, maybe twice I've seen it.
I mean,
And it's like
This is
midnight.
I mean, isn't it,
Oh, Starbucks, 'cause they-
Site plan.
oh, I thought I said
location type of thing?
No, you guys all saying.
Didn't? Yeah?
You get the guilt as you drive by.
Just go by, it's like a farmer's market.
Eversource.
You know, yeah, you do want to the Florence work for these properties. Like this one, you know, something like.
Next up for discussion, we have proposed zoning bylaw changes in Springtown meeting. Table of uses and descriptions.
Yes, this has been worked on. And several of us in special services have been working on this over the fall. It's currently before zoning bylaw review committee for their review. I wanted to bring it to this board's attention. Hopefully it'll be going forward this spring, the public hearing, but the description of uses and the table is basically a full rewrite. There's a lot of changes. We've had a chance to review this. Everything in this red is being supposed to be added, and what's crossed out, proposing to cross out to eliminate. We don't have to go through every line, but there's a lot of information here. I want to bring it to the board's attention if you want to provide feedback any time over the next few months as you lead up to town meeting. In case you had any questions, in case the public had any questions, be a good time.
Quick one. Mobile homes, you know,
Yes.
across the board, is that changed, or has there always been like
It's
that?
always been that way.
So if a new home gets changed out, like you need special permit on existing, or?
If it's being changed out, if the new one's going in, they can stay. If it's going to be added, that'll have to be,
Then special, or then,
that,
yeah.
something will have to happen. I don't have a straight answer for that one, because no one's come forward as far as I know
Gotcha.
in a very long time to add new mobile homes.
Yeah.
But as of right now, they've been pretty much prohibited across town. What's there is there, and that's it.
Except for the existing parts.
Right. Basically, this is trying to be proactive and trying to modernize the zoning bylaws. There's a lot of old stuff in the table, some businesses that don't exist anymore, like the Computer Service Bureau, or secretarial services, or telephone answering service. Those businesses don't really exist anymore. So I thought it'd be a good idea to take those out.
Banking on them not making a comeback.
Yeah.
Can I ask, this 3.2.5.4, escape room, like is escape room like a separate thing that needs to be considered on there? I don't do that.
Yeah, that was something that the building commission had a concern about. You had one, someone who expressed interest a couple of years ago, but there's no place, the bylaw is silent, so there's really no direction. At least this kind of puts it into that own category, indoor recreation, and not some other random business, and kind of isolates it, require a special
Makes it
permit.
so it fits on the,
Yeah. I don't know how popular those businesses are still. I know they were pretty popular for a while, but
No, I just didn't know if it was under a separate name type thing, or like there's others that do a similar setup that aren't escape rooms.
yeah.
So, I
I
didn't
think
know
it
if
all
there was
kind of fit in the same category. In case you're wondering, these big stripe lines going down the side, that's the open space district overlay, which is the entire town, is covered by the open space district. I'm not sure what the intent was initially to add that call, and it seems unnecessary since there's its own section in the bylaw for just open space residential use, so it's just kind of cleaning up the table and getting rid of that entirely. Kind of adds new modern businesses such as biotech, high-tech, grocery stores. There's a lot of people interested in grocery store in town, different grocery store in town. Multiple businesses, multiple offices in the same building, mixed use.
that's one that comes up often, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, if you want to take some time, we can keep this on the agenda for the next several meetings, and if you have questions, or if people from the public have questions.
Okay.
When is
so
town meeting scheduled?
I don't think it's scheduled yet. It's usually the second Tuesday in May.
Tuesday, May.
So there would be a public hearing assuming this goes forward, probably sometime in April. There is a meeting on Monday. Town meeting members were invited. Anyone is welcome to attend. We're going to present some of these changes, hopefully address some of their concerns, and make alterations if necessary.
Next up is conflict of interest.
That's just kind of a reminder from the town clerk. If they haven't responded to her email from a few weeks ago, just respond to the email that you received it. Yeah, I can check if you're not sure.
Yeah, do you mind
I think I
checking?
received the email.
I think I did,
believe
but I can't
did,
recall.
But it was like a month or two ago.
Yeah, I thought it was a while ago, so,
It's supposed to, that one I believe is every year.
yeah,
Also.
yeah.
So next up, we have the meeting minutes from January 14th. I would like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes as amended.
Second.
You can't
I can't.
No.
Can you make the motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I made it, Adam. Go ahead. Scott, second.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those in favor? I came in second. And then we have the draft of the minutes of the executive session we had upstairs last fall.
So on this we would need, if you want to accept these, recall the lawsuit has been dropped at this point.
Oh, it has?
I noticed, I think a while back. So I don't see a need to hold back these minutes any longer. If you're okay with the minutes, you can vote to accept, and then we need a vote to release the minutes.
I need a motion on the minutes for the executive meeting, executive session.
Anybody want to read and refresh?
I already did. Anybody else read it?
I wasn't present.
Oh, you weren't there?
I'm gonna make a motion that we accept them.
I have a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You just initial that and date whenever you read it. And if you also want to make a motion to the chair to release the minutes to the public.
I'll make a motion that we release the minutes to the public.
I have a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Terrific.
I just sign under red and the date.
Yeah,
Initial it.
just initial, yeah. I've got one item under an update on new business.
What's it under, Adam?
Well, I guess new business unforeseen or update is kind of a combination. Seaboard Solar is preparing to begin their construction. The deadline was extended last meeting, but the day after it was extended, they got the notice from National Grid that they can proceed.
Seaboard is which one?
476 Leicester Street. That was one of the 5 lots.
There you go.
One of the conditions of the original decision was to have a pre-construction meeting. I've got the decision here.
With,
I'll read it. The applicant shall provide planning board with a phased construction plan and a detailed construction schedule that includes daily truck volumes to be reviewed at a public meeting prior to construction. The applicant shall notify abutting landowners no less than 5 days prior to the meeting. So, per this condition, we need to have a meeting with Seaboard Solar, and they need to alert the abutters. My question is, when do you want to do that? Do you want to do that at a planning board meeting and
sure.
make it simple?
Who is the gentleman you just mentioned? Steve?
Steve.
Did you say a name?
No.
Steve.
The person that's been in charge, this is Pedro.
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 So we met with them Monday, or last week, I forget what day.
So who is the pre-construction meeting with?
With Pedro and the construction company, their site manager, and the abutters if they would like to come. So I don't know if you want.
Route 9, Dead Horse Hill,
Yeah.
cutting routes,
Right.
staying away from the bridge.
Which one, go down Dead Horse Hill?
Yeah.
Yeah, because to go up, to get to Route 9 on Auburn Street,
Yeah.
that's windy, curvy, that's not good.
No.
Dead Horse Hill. And keep them off Leicester Street the other way too.
Yeah. So, I can invite them to the next meeting and see if that will satisfy that particular condition.
Sure.
All right. And that is all I have.
Make a motion to adjourn?
I won't be present at the February 11th meeting.
Again?
What do you mean again? What are you talking about?
Could be an impact.
I will
Did you make a motion then?
be. Yes, I made a motion to let everybody know that.
Yes.
Do I have a second for the adjournment?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.